Hello and welcome to Please Me. Last week, Alexandra Stockwell was on the show talking about how in relationships we should have uncompromising intimacy, which is also the title of her best-selling book. Find out what she means by all of that and go back and listen. This podcast is intended for mature audiences. Eve is a licensed physical therapist who is on a mission to destigmatize conversations about sex. In her PT practice, Eve treats conditions related to sexual health. Please enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to Please Me, the podcast that aims to destigmatize conversations about sex by turning the sheets into our classroom. Today, I have the honor to introduce a guest named June Edward, and I am so excited to talk to her today. June is a platform psychic medium and has worked on missing person cases. She has consulted with many paranormal groups and authors. She's an author herself and teacher and has created a relationship mastery program. In addition, she has authored these books: All's Fair in Love and Karma, Dancing with the Universe, A Night on the Other Side, and the Destiny Card Journal. And I hope I covered it all. I'm sure there's much, much more. But I want to just bring you on and say welcome to Please Me. How are you today?
Fantastic. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you
Good.
for coming on and for being open to having this conversation with me.
My
So,
pleasure.
so I'm curious about the work that you do. And I don't know a whole lot about it, so I can't wait for you to enlighten us.
Sure.
What is parapsychology, and how can it help with relationships and particularly with intimacy?
Well, parapsychology is the study of the unknown, the paranormal, what is not so much normal, according to most people, depending on what groups you're in. So when you get in touch with your soul, which is who we really are, this energetic being inside of the suit, you can really transcend everything in your life far beyond this little 3D game that we play here and really rise above all the drama. If you think about sex, right? Most people are so inhibited when it comes to sex. They don't want to look at my body and am I getting old and wrinkly, or, am I doing this right? Or, when you really transcend all beyond all of that and understand that it's just two energetic beings that are entwining. And of course, you're sharing energy more than anything else. It's an amazing, amazing coupling at that point.
Absolutely, I agree. Speaking of energy, since you brought it up, I would love to know um, if you could tell us about the life-changing energy shift that you recommend so that you can re-attract your partner. Because as we know, lots of relationships get stale, and getting keeping that attraction going throughout your relationship takes work and effort. And so I would love to know your tip on that.
So because we're all energetic beings, we're like magnets. You're always either attracting or repelling at any given time. And energy, it's like a radio station. You can't get the radio station in unless you're on the right frequency, right? Well, people are the same way. So the reason that you've attracted the person, the partner that you have in your life, is because you're on the same energetic frequency. But what happens is, as time goes on, that energy builds up, the magnet flips, and instead of attracting, now you're repelling each other. So it only takes one person, believe it or not, to change anything in a relationship, because for every action, there's an equal or greater reaction. So the trick is to balance your energy. When you balance your energy, your magnet doesn't flip anymore. Okay, you're always on the same frequency, and it's a nice smooth ride. The highs aren't as high, the lows aren't as low, but you've already attracted, so you stay attracted and you don't repel any longer. It is not the easiest thing in the world to do, but once it happens, it's absolutely amazing.
So how do you recommend that people find balance in their energy?
It's actually a process. That's why I have a 7-week program to teach people to do it. It's called the Relationship Mastery Program. But the first thing you have to do is learn how to raise your vibration. So you're attracting everything in your life that's on that same frequency. And that includes your partner. And if it's on a lower frequency, that's what you're bringing into your life. Keep in mind, when you raise your frequency, because you're with your partner, their frequency will automatically raise as well. And when one person in the relationship balances their energy, the other person will automatically balance their energy as well.
So
It
it's
only
like a
takes one person to fix it.
so it's like a domino effect. That's interesting. Let's talk about the 3 relationship types as you define them.
Sure. So there's karmic relationships, and karma is something that you create in this lifetime. So if you do something to someone in this lifetime, you don't have remorse for it and you don't make amends for it, now you owe that person something in a next lifetime. And it's not necessarily negative. Everybody thinks karma is negative. It's not necessarily a negative thing, because we're all really here to help each other. So let's say, for example, you stole money from somebody in a past lifetime. Doesn't mean they're going to come back and rob you in this lifetime. Maybe they're going to be your boss and they're going to teach you how money works and make you really work hard for your money and earn it. Okay. So a karmic relationship in this lifetime is someone that from a past lifetime, either you did something to and you owe them, or they owe you. So they might come into your life to, teach you one of the 5 lessons that your soul has to learn. Suppose it's self-worth. You might be in a relationship with someone that's constantly belittling you or degrading you. And until you learn that lesson of self-worth, you're just going to keep going from relationship to relationship until you learn that lesson that does the exact same thing to you in every relationship. So in a karmic relationship, once one or the other person learns the lesson they're supposed to be learning, that relationship ends immediately. And it's a karmic relationship because it never feels right. It always feels like there's something missing, or you're looking for the red flags. It never really feels right. And when it ends, it's like you wake up one morning and say, what in the world am I even doing with this person? Why are they even in my life? And it ends, and that's it. So, it doesn't always have to be a lover. It can be a friend. It could be, even a family member can be a karmic relationship, believe it or not. And then you have soulmate relationships. Now, soulmate relationships are what everybody wants to have. They're amazing. As soon as you meet that person, it's like excuse me, it's like you've known them a long time. A lot of times it just moves very, very quickly. It's very comfortable. It's also there for you to learn something or teach something, but it's there to afford you some love and comfort along the way as well. And a soulmate relationship doesn't necessarily have to end when someone learns the lesson. It really depends what you wrote into your life plan. Okay. And then there is the twin flame relationship. And twin flame relationships, they're extremely rare. There's a lot of misinformation around the internet. Some people think that everybody has one. They don't. And they're not this beautiful thing that they've done in the notebook or anything. Twin flame relationships are very, very difficult and challenging. What happens with them is it's one soul that's split into 2 bodies before they reincarnated here. And at some predetermined point in your life, you will meet and find each other. They are always extremely sexual, extremely passionate, and they only last for a few weeks or at the most a few months. But they turn your life upside down, and they literally put you on the path that you're supposed to be on in life of helping other people. And twin flame relationships not only have to learn the 5 lessons, the 5 soul lessons that we're all here for, but they have to get on that path and be helping other people, which is their soul mission here. And if they can't do that, they're not going to end up getting back together in this lifetime. Most of them don't get back together in this lifetime. They have to wait until they go on the other side, because one or the other hasn't learned all their lessons. So they're very challenging. We want soulmate relationships.
Okay, that is the pinnacle of relationships, but all of them really do teach you along the way. So, it's interesting though, twin flame relationships, I would guess, I've never heard of that concept, but I would guess that not always that the splitting of the soul doesn't always happen? It's like a rare thing, or is it
It's
that it?
yeah, it's extremely rare, and there's only a few 100,000 of them on Earth at any given time. It's very rare.
Interesting. And you mentioned 5 pillars that you teach or you need to go through for each relationship. But can you expand on that a little bit?
Well, there's 5 lessons. That's why it's all fair in
Lessons.
love and karma. There's 5 lessons that
Mhm.
your soul has to learn in order to advance.
Okay.
And maybe you need to learn all 5 of them while you're here. Maybe you
Okay.
only need a couple of them. But everyone has to learn them. And the only thing that you can really do in this lifetime is delay your lessons. So the first lesson is self-worth, and that is knowing that you are so important that you're the only one of you in this entire universe. That's it. You're that special. And it's also knowing that it's not narcissistic and it's not selfish to put yourself first. It's where everything else comes from. If you can't put yourself first, you're not going to be here to take care of anybody else. It's that simple. And no one has the power over you to make you do anything. I can't make you hate me. I can't make you love me. You are responsible for that, and you are responsible for your own happiness. And when you make yourself happy, you can meet someone else that's happy, and your happiness ping pongs back and forth. It's wonderful. Then you have trust and communication. And you have to trust, first of all, that there's a higher power and that you created the plan. So if you don't like it, you've got nobody to blame but you. And, when you start to get off your path a little bit, nothing's actually happening to you. It's happening for you. Because if you're a little too stubborn and you're not going the route you're supposed to go, then the universe will step in and give you a little push somewhere. You may not like it, but it's going to get you back on your path. And you have to be able to communicate your wants and your needs to the people in your life, whether it's a family member, an employee, or your lover. It doesn't matter. No one knows by osmosis what it is that makes you happy, what it is you want, what you need. And then sex is nothing more than another form of communication in the bedroom. If you can't trust and communicate outside the bedroom, you're never going to be able to trust and communicate inside the bedroom. Then you have unconditional love. And unconditional love is not playing the martyr and saying, oh, I have to stay in this abusive relationship because I'm supposed to love them unconditionally. This is where the lessons start reinforcing each other and your lesson of self-worth is going to kick in. Unconditional love is saying, listen, love you, I care about you, we had a great run, it's not working. I'm not liking who you are anymore. I don't like this for me. We need to go separate ways. I really want the best for you. And that's not bad mouthing them once you turn the corner. It's really wanting the best for everyone. Okay. Suppose you had a child that you love dearly and they did something horrific like murdering a neighbor in a fit of rage and they go to prison for the rest of their life. You don't like what the child did, but hopefully you're still going to unconditionally love your child. That's just an extreme example of it. Then you have money and balance. And everything in the universe has to stay in balance. This is why you have good and evil. You have day and night. You have left and right. Everything has to be in balance. And it has to be an even exchange of energy for anything in the world. Okay. You're not going to be happy if you have in bed with your partner and he's getting everything and you're getting nothing. There's no even exchange of energy there, right? So money is energy. That's why it's called currency. You go into a grocery store, you pay an equal amount of money to get that milk, right? Even exchange of energy. And it's how we show whether or not we're in balance in this 3D world. So suppose you work 80 hours a week and you want to put some money aside. Well, now your life's out of balance because you're working too much, so you don't have time to spend with your family, your friends, even on your own hobbies. And then if you're just saving your money, you're not spending it, you don't have enough self-worth to spend the fruits of your labor on yourself. So this is where money is used as a tool for that reason. And then the last lesson, which is one of the tougher ones for a lot of people, is patience. And we live in a world right now of instant gratification, and everybody wants everything now or yesterday. Uber, come deliver for me. And everything comes in its perfect time. How ridiculous would it be if every little 5-year-old girl that wants to be princess, get married, and have babies had the stork start delivering at the front door, right? So you have to know that, if your biological clock is ticking and you're 35 years old and you haven't had children yet, well, clearly you didn't write it into your plan that way. Maybe at 50, you're going to marry a widow and raise his children. Who knows? You have to really trust that you made this plan for your highest and best. And that's the way it's going to play out for you, what's best for you. And it's real easy to look back and see the breadcrumbs of your life and see how everything led to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and brought you to where you are right now. So don't have regrets, because you still would be exactly where you are right now, because this is exactly where you're supposed to be at any given time. Okay. But you have to trust the plan again to know that where you're going forward is exactly where you're supposed to be going as well.
So let's talk about writing that plan, because it seems almost like a cosmic thing and not really something that you're actually physically writing. Can you tell me more about how we, quote unquote, write our plan?
So it is the major production on the other side, because there are soul groups. Every archangel has a soul group of millions and millions of souls in them. And you reincarnate every lifetime with the same souls, the same, whatever, whoever owes you or whatever. And you literally sit down. It's like making your own Monopoly game and figure out who's going to be in your life when you come back this time, and who's going to be your husband, and what children you're going to have. All of that is so pre-planned out. It's incredible. And the only exit that is not available, that is not acceptable, is taking your own life, because that's like quitting the game and walking away. And then the angels have to come in and adjust every person that you were supposed to have contact with in your life when you were here. So it is very, very complex, and you decide, what it is you want to learn, or reinforce those lessons that you need to learn while you're here this time.
So how would you help somebody who maybe doesn't believe in reincarnation to understand that there is a plan for them on this earth at this moment in time, or maybe use different wording to sort of generalize? Because I know that that's not like it's not a common belief system. Not everybody believes in reincarnation. So go
Not
ahead.
everybody believes in God either. It's like,
True.
I can't. So it's not my job to try to make anybody believe anything. The only
Right.
thing that I can do is tell them what I know from my experiences. So our
Mhm.
knowledge is basically based on what we've been told or what we experience. And when you experience something different, then your belief system is going to change. And it's like I always say, I've never met an atheist on their deathbed. Even though I've met a couple of atheists, the closer they get, the more they're curious they are, and then something happens to make them change their mind. So as you go through your life, if you can open your mind to other knowledge and other things, you can start seeing that some things are not exactly what you thought they were. Believe me,
Def-
I was never big into religion or God, or, I always believed growing up that there was a higher power, but I was
yes.
exposed to so many religions as a child. I didn't believe in any of it, quite honestly. I thought the saints and, this is all just a bunch of hooey. If I couldn't see it, feel it, touch it, forget it. And let me tell you, once you die and you come back, you realize, yeah, it's real. They're all real. I see angels. I see dead people walking. It's crazy. It's
Can
like
we talk
people
about that? Can we talk about your near death experience and how that
sure,
changed you? Yeah, that sounds like a
sure.
turning point in your life.
So it was and it wasn't, believe it or not. The experience itself, I was going in for a surgery. I had injured my back at 22, and I just knew that if I had the surgery, I was going to die. I knew that all along, and that's my soul giving me the heads up. And the night before my surgery, I went in and had an MRI done with a contrast dye. And I told them I thought I was allergic to it. And they told me that, no, not your last reaction was fine. It's what happens to everybody. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And sure enough, as soon as they gave it to me, I died immediately. And I never
Wow.
called it an NDE because I never heard of it. And I knew that I died. I wasn't near death, I was dead. And I immediately went to heaven, and what I now know to be the fifth dimension, which is the lowest level of heaven. So your soul is way too big for this body. Some of it's in your body, some of it's the aura that they talk about over your head, and the majority of your soul is in that lowest level of heaven, and it determines the timing of all the events and orchestrates those events in your life. And less than 10% of the people that get to that level that I did actually have a full life review. So I had a full life review, and then I was told that it really wasn't my time. I could stay if I wanted to, or I could come back. And it was a very difficult decision for me, to be honest with you. It's just so amazing on the other side. And the only reason I came back was for my children. If it wasn't for my children, I would not have come back. There's no one else here that would have drawn me back here after being there. And it took me a long time to even talk about it because I would get so emotional. I would just stop bawling my eyes out because the overwhelming feeling of it is just incredible. So the two things that I learned that we take with us when we go, I used to say knowledge and love because that's what I was feeling was love. But now that I do this work, I bring through a lot of souls from the other side who's still living in sadness and regret. So I understand that it's not just love that we take with us, it's all of our emotions. We take our emotions and we take, not our emotions, because that's an expression of your feelings. We take our feelings. Our feelings and our knowledge is what we take. And when we access our soul, like through meditation, we're not just accessing that part of our soul that's in our body, we're accessing the majority of our soul that's on the other side. And that has all the knowledge of all your lifetimes. So it's really incredible when you start accessing, and that has your plan as well. So your plan starts to come through a lot easier for you of what you're supposed to be doing in this lifetime.
Such an interesting concept. And I think, technology wise, of like the cloud, out there holding all of our information,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I had never heard of, your soul sort of being multi parts, you know what I mean? In your inside your body, your aura, and also somewhere up in, up in the
Yes, your soul
universe.
is really big. Yeah, so it's
It's
interesting because
incredible.
when
Hmm.
someone's dying, the majority of their soul has already left their body. There's just that little bit left in there to keep their body functioning.
Hmm.
And when my mom died, she knew I wanted to see her soul leave her body, and I got to see the rest of her soul leave her body. Yeah, it was pretty
Wow.
amazing.
That's
I've only once before I've ever seen someone's soul leave their body, and I wasn't sure what I was seeing then. And I wasn't sure if I was watching my mom's leave her body either, but I had the nurse come over and check her heart, and it was she had passed. So yeah, I did see it.
wow. And did you actually see something physical leaving, or what was it that
So
you noticed changed? I mean, of course, her breathing must have stopped, and
So I
um,
see energy. This is why,
right.
like animals, animals' eyes are
Mm-hmm.
shaped differently, so they can see things that we don't. People that are
Mm-hmm.
colorblind seem to see things a little bit differently as well.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I saw them as a child. It was really freaky, very scary. I blocked my abilities the best I could for the majority of my life, believe it or not. And even after my experience of dying and going to heaven, you would think that would have been it, but that wasn't the plan. I still had a lot that I had to go through so that I can help the people that I do help. It's the old, you've got to walk a mile in my shoes, right? So I still had a lot more that I had to go through before my abilities fully opened up. And it's only been about 11 years. I was having trouble in my business. I was going through a divorce, and I went to have some Reiki work done, which is energy work. And
Mm-hmm.
she recommended that I meditate. And I'm like, there's no way I can meditate. I'm running 5 businesses. I'm going through a divorce. I'm taking care of my mom. I can't. And the first time that I tried it, it was like they kicked the door into the other side. And I didn't know how to shut it off again. And it was 1,000 times stronger than when I was a child. So if you think of quantum physics and the speed of light, it's more than 300 million miles a second. So when I died, that's how fast my soul traveled when I went into the light to go to heaven, right? Now I decide to stay here and it comes back in my body that fast. So my vibration is automatically much higher than most people. And I think that's why I have the ability to actually go back and forth to the fifth dimension at will. More of my soul goes there, I can go there very, very quickly. Um, but it's absolutely incredible. And anyone that learns how to meditate, getting in touch with their soul, will raise their vibration as well. It happens automatically because you're connecting with that part of your soul that is in heaven and has the high vibration. But I still wasn't seeing full body apparitions and all of that. I was really connected to my soul after that. And my intuition was much stronger, which is your soul. But still, I was afraid. I used to go on haunted vacations with my husband. I stayed on the Queen Mary twice, went to Alcatraz, the Wally House, all the big ones across the country. But once I meditated and it opened up, it was like, wow, I couldn't shut it off. I had to go find help and get training on how to turn it on and how to turn it off, because you can't be on all the time. You can't wake up every morning and have 30 souls around your bed looking for help. You just can't live like
Wow.
that. You can't live like that.
Your body just did a little jiggle and it was a little scary, actually. I'm like, wait, don't go.
My dog hit my computer.
Oh, that's but it was like at the perfect time. It was very dramatic. Uh, that is super interesting. It was almost like, I just talked about technology and the cloud, right? And so you went up there and it's like it recharged your energy, and you came back with like supercharged energy, that you had to learn how to control. That is really interesting. And scary. I can't imagine seeing, like you just
Very
described,
scary. Yeah.
And how you kind of go about your life when, these souls are looking for help. I mean, I wasn't thinking that they would be looking for help. I would be thinking that people on this side would want to contact them, right? But I wasn't thinking about the other way around, that the souls on the other side are trying to seek help from you.
It works
So can
both
you,
ways. Yeah, it
wow.
works both ways. So there's lots of times that somebody will come to me because they don't have closure or something from someone that passed on the other side. And when I'm bringing that soul through, they're in despair because, they think they've caused harm to someone here that they didn't make amends to.
Mm,
So it's wonderful when I can heal them on both sides. That's really amazing.
that is amazing. And,
We do have a lot of ghosts here too. I mean, you have lower vibrational ghosts that are stuck here, and their vibration is the same as a regular person because they haven't gone into the light. And, from small children, lots of people that are stuck here because they either don't know they've passed, they think they're still alive, or they're afraid to go into the light for one reason or another. And I move a lot of those people into the light. And then you have a lot of ones that are, they have no desire to go into the light. They're really kind of evil. They're dangerous. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yep. There's a lot of
Wow.
everything out there. And a lot of
Interesting.
people come to me once their abilities open up because it's the same thing. They don't know where to go. They don't know who to talk to. People go crazy. They start self-medicating with alcohol and drugs because they think they're going nuts and they can't shut it off. So it can happen to anybody at any time if you've written that into your plan.
Right. Well, so far, I don't think I have.
Never
But
know.
now I know who to come to in case it ever happens.
Well, it's
Uh,
interesting because they're always trying to contact you from the other side. It's like a two-way mirror. They can see you, they can hear you, they can even touch you. And they're banging on the glass saying, "Can't you see me? Can't you see me?" Anytime you think of anybody that's passed, they show up immediately because they don't want to be forgotten either. It's absolutely amazing. A lot of people, oh, they think they live in haunted houses. Well, if you've got one, you've got many. They're there, and a lot of them just want to talk to you. They want to help you, different reasons.
Interesting. So you can conjure up, um, someone who has passed by thinking about them. Is that what you're trying to say?
Absolutely.
Without
Absolutely.
without having any
If I'm bringing something
experience,
in from the other side, like if you
right?
wanted me to bring somebody through, say you want to talk to your grandmother, I just have you say her name in your head 3 times, first, middle, and
Right.
last, so we get the right
Right.
person. And I describe who shows up. They show up immediately. They always want to be heard. They're waiting, They don't have a body. Think how frustrating it is, right? Let's say you're here, right? And you've got a wonderful family life, you're enjoying things, and the next minute you're gone. You haven't had a chance to say goodbye to anybody. You really miss the people that you were with, right? You know how much we miss somebody when they pass. Well, it's just as bad, if not worse, for them on the other side, because at least you have people down here you can commiserate with, right? They want to hug you. They want to tell you it's okay. They want to still be here with you. It's really difficult for them on the other side. So they really want to talk to people. It's unbelievable.
That's so interesting. I never really thought of it that way. I always thought that, once you pass and you reach the light, like you said, you didn't want to come back because it was so wonderful. So if it's so wonderful, why do you want to why do
So
you want
we
to come
come
back?
back here for
But
different
because
reasons, it's like a
right,
mini vacation because you don't have a body on the other side. You
right.
can't smell, you can't taste, you can't have sex. There's lots of things you can't do. And you're only here for a very short period of time, and then you're back on the other side. So without the body, they literally live vicariously through us. So if they
Mm.
want to go fishing, they go find a fishing boat and stand next to the guy that's catching the fish and be like, hey, bring him in.
I like that idea, actually. You can pretty much vacation wherever you
Yeah,
want.
exactly. That's what they do.
Let's talk about getting trapped in abusive relationships and
Sure.
what we can do in order to exit those relationships.
So that's where it gets down to you learning the lesson that you're there for. So you have to kind of look at that relationship from a higher perspective. And it's so easy to get drawn into the 3D drama of it all. You're on the phone with your girlfriend. Oh, that SOB, you know what he said to me last night? He didn't look like what I made for dinner and blah, 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 blah. And he threw it on the floor. Why are you letting someone treat you like that? No self-worth, right? You have to really get out of that. You got to remember, the movie Avatar was wonderful because that's literally what this is like. Every morning we get up and our soul gets up into this suit and into this body, and we're playing a role like we're in a movie. What role do you want to play? Do you want to be the lead? Do you want to be the star of the show? Or do you just want to be the one that's, getting lunch for everybody every day? That's your choice. So if you learn that lesson and say, look, stand up for yourself, either pack your own bags and leave, I've done that, or throw them out and change the locks, one of the two. But until you learn that lesson of self-worth, you're going to leave that relationship and go to the next one. Maybe they're going to learn their self-worth before you do, and they're going to be out the door with somebody else. And guess what? You're going to let the next guy move in because, oh, nobody really likes me. I'm not that pretty. I'm not that smart. They'll help me pay the bills. They move in and do the exact same thing to you. You have to learn the lesson of self-worth if that's the lesson that you're supposed to be learning. The only choices you really have, because the universe wants you to think you have choice, right, is to delay your lesson. So the universe offers you door 1, 2, and 3. We take door 1, we get married, we have a couple of kids, we get divorced. Where are we? In front of door 1, 2, and 3. People are creatures of habit. What do? Take door 1 again, get married again, have a couple more kids, get divorced again. If you learn your lesson, you're not taking door 1 anymore. You're going to take door 3, door 2 or 3. And when you take that, you may still get married and have more children, but you're not going to get divorced for the reasons that you did the first 2 times, because you learned that lesson, whatever that lesson was. And that's what we have to do. We have to start looking at the why. Why am I in this relationship? Am I happy? Do I love myself? Am I getting fulfilled with what I need? Are my needs being met? If not, then you have to look at that and ask why. And then you have to make your decision accordingly.
Absolutely. I'm interested in the 3 tools that you speak about to help improve your communication and let's talk about specifically sexual communication or sensual communication in the bedroom.
So, there's lots of ideas around sex, right? Personally, I think it belongs a private issue between 2 people. Okay. But, everybody has their own thing. There's open marriages, there's, sex parties, there's all kinds of things. Personally, I think it belongs between the 2 people. What you have to remember is you have an energy exchange there. You're exchanging energy with someone when you're in such an intimate sexual act, right? And you're also here to enjoy life. You're supposed to enjoy sex. If you didn't enjoy sex, why would we be able to do it? Right? We wouldn't have children if we didn't have sex.
Right.
Okay? It's
But it's
not
not
just there
always
to have kids.
right. Exactly. I mean, your body is wired for pleasure.
Exactly. Both
Hmm.
men and women are both
Absolutely.
wired
Hmm.
for pleasure. And yes, we both have different libidos sometimes, but that can be moderated as well. Okay. And people have to remember that men and women are different. We're very, very different. Men are very, very visual. So, my students, the first thing I ask them, what are you wearing around the house? Oh, sweatsuit, sweatpants, burn them. What are you wearing to bed at night? Pajamas, burn them. Okay. Men are very visual creatures. It's that simple. This is why they want to look at porn to get, they should be looking at you instead. Why aren't you wearing something like you're wearing? Very sexy, very pretty, right? This is what they want to see. How would you like it if your guy walked around the house all day long in dirty painting uniforms, right? That's disgusting. You don't want to see that. You want to see a guy that goes to the gym, who's a little ripped, who looks good. So you got to take care of yourself. And guys need to remember that women have to get turned on in their brain before they get turned on in their body. Okay, we're very communicative people. So this is where the romance has to come in. We want to hear that you think we look sexy. We want to hear that, you can't wait to run your fingers down our backs, and that you like our ass and all that. We want to hear that from you. Okay. We don't want to hear what's for dinner. Oh, yeah, we're going to do it tonight. No, no. Doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So people have to remember that we're both very different. Okay. And then, you know what? We have bodies. We have two bodies. Okay. We have a brain to be creative. So there's no reason that you can't be creative in the bedroom. Take a
Yes.
lesson from, the Japanese art of sex is incredible. They're the ones that wrote the book of Kama Sutra. If you've never read it, go get it.
Okay.
You can go back centuries, and they used to make the little clay statues of all the little positions, and they were always nudes. Look back in the Roman Empire with all the nude. The human body is a beautiful thing. It
It
really
is.
is. It's an
Hmm.
absolutely beautiful, amazing thing. And it doesn't matter if you think you're 20 pounds overweight. No one cares. Keep the lights on.
Yes.
Don't turn
It's
the lights
beautiful.
off.
It's beautiful at any size, really,
It
and
is.
appreciating, who you are, what you look like. Maybe it's just, picking one thing that you like about yourself and then building on that over time,
The
because you're absolutely
sexiest
right.
thing, the
Hmm.
sexiest thing is confidence in a man or a woman. The
Absolutely.
sexiest thing is confidence. That's it. You know, take care of yourself, be as healthy as you can, men and women. But reality is we age. The body's going to age. There's nothing wrong with that. Look at, who are the ones that did those movies and they were in their 80s, for crying out loud. Yeah, you got wrinkles. Yeah, what the heck? You're still beautiful. You're still beautiful, beautiful bodies. Enjoy them.
And at any age, we all deserve pleasure and love at any age. So, loving yourself at any age and not beating yourself up for the little things that you think are, changing.
And on that note,
Hmm.
people need human touch. We need that.
Yes.
This is what makes you feel um, wanted, needed, and close to another person, is that human touch. Too many people, as they age, like our parents, they don't get that. They need that. Hugs, just closeness. It's not always about the sex act itself. A lot of times as you get older, it's really just about, one body against another body. It's that closeness. You can't get that without doing that. And it's so important in a relationship. It really, truly is.
Yes. And not just in the bedroom, but touch throughout the day, all of the time, really. I mean, you don't have to be constantly on top of your other partner.
Exactly.
That
Exactly. But it's
there's
nice.
got to be
Hold hands,
there's
give
got to
them a
be a
slap on the
balance.
ass once in a while, dance in the kitchen, People
Absolutely.
forget that
Be
they need to
playful.
play. Exactly. They need to
Yes.
play and have
Mm-hmm.
fun. This is one of the biggest reasons we're here. And laugh. There's nothing better for you than laughter. And if you're in the bedroom, laugh for crying out loud.
It's supposed to be fun, right? It's
It is
supposed to
supposed
be
to be
fun.
fun. Exactly. It's not work. It's supposed to be pleasure for both of
Absolutely.
you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm 100% on board with that. I love this quote from your book. As much as outside forces influence how we feel, the reality is that knowing what you deserve, valuing yourself, and being happy is an inside job. Can you
Hmm.
elaborate on that?
Sure. It's no one has enough power in their life to make you do anything. Think about this. Think of you got a guy at work that you think you have no physical attraction to this guy at all. Does he have the power to make you love him? No.
No. Mm-hmm.
No, nobody has power over you but you. You are responsible for how you feel. That's it. Nobody else. Nobody has that kind of power. So nobody else can make you happy, which I constantly find on all the dating sites. Oh, I want a girl to make me happy. No, no girl's going to make you happy. You make you happy. When you're happy, you'll find another person that's happy, and the two of you will share that happiness, and it will just ping pong back and forth. That's how it works. It's an inside job. It's all on you. It's nobody else's fault. It's nobody else's responsibility. It's none of that. It's all on you. It's your life. You decide how you want to live it. Do I want to live it miserable? Do I want to piss, moan, and complain about everything in the world? Or do I want to look at the other side of that coin and find everything that's right with everything? The more things that you find, the more grateful you are, the more the universe keeps giving you.
I love that. Great. Being grateful and gratitude, I'm guessing would increase your vibration, right? So
Absolutely.
what brings your vibrations down and, what can you do to counteract that?
So everybody's walked into a birthday party or a wedding, right? And they felt that really high vibration. So they know what that feels like. And everybody's also walked into a funeral where everybody's crying and sad. So everybody knows what that energy feels like, right? So when you find things that bring you joy, when you're laughing and having fun, those are the things that raise your vibration. And like, again, the fastest way to do it is to meditate and get in touch with your soul, because the soul that's on the other side is a really high vibration. And when you're in love, right? When you're in love, love is the highest vibration of all. It's the same vibration there is on the other side. So this is why when you're in love, you're on this big high, right? So when you learn how to meditate and get in your soul, you're on that high all the time.
Okay, meditation people, let's think about that and
So
actually try it. Mm-hmm.
meditation, because you're getting in touch with that higher vibration, it speeds up the molecular turnover of the cells in your body. The biggest
Okay.
anti-aging secret there is, turn the clock back. You start
I was
actually
I was just
reversing the
about to
aging.
say, yeah, I was just about to say it makes you younger. That's it.
It
That hey,
does.
that is a reason to try for sure.
It
Um,
absolutely does.
Incredible. Wow. Can you talk about what constitutes, in your opinion, a midlife crisis and how we can avoid that? My goodness, no one wants one of those.
So it's interesting. Our lives break down into 13-year cycles. 13, 7,
Oh, okay.
yep, 13-year cycles, 7-year cycles, 7 weeks, 7 days, and yearly. So every 13 years is a new cycle in your life. And so that puts you at 52 or 65 for the most part. And usually between those ages, you've written in your plan somewhere to start having some kind of an awakening. And usually, what's the first thing? Self-worth. You find, you see that you've not put yourself first in all these years. You put your children first, you put your wife first, you put your family first, right? All these things. And some point in your life plan, you have put an awakening, and it starts with self-worth. So this is really what a midlife crisis is. It's waking up to the reality of, wait a minute, I'm not going to be here forever, am I? And what am I missing out on? What lessons have I not learned? Maybe I'm still angry at my ex-husband or my ex-wife, or I have no balance in my life. Everything's just all over the place and everything falls on me and there's no time for me. So this is what happens. It's like a big shakeup. And it can happen at any time, quite honestly. It really depends on what the timing is that you wrote into your life plan. And then your soul that is in the fifth dimension will make sure it happens.
Make sure that the crisis happens.
Yeah, make sure. Well, it's
Yeah.
not really a crisis. It's not really a crisis. It's a wonderful thing when it happens. I mean, if you're in a relationship and it happens to the other person, not you, and you're not understanding why it's happening, you may not like it,
Right.
but it's happening for a reason. And
To teach lessons, to switch things
Exactly.
around,
Exactly. And it's there to affect you as well. It's not about one person. Because
Right.
it's happening to one, it's going to happen to you too. You're going to have to start reevaluating, saying, well, maybe he's got something there. What am I missing out on? What did I not do? What am I supposed to be doing? Those types of things.
Yes. And then like being able to, communicate that, to your partner when you're feeling, like you're not being appreciated or whatever the case may be, to help bring that vibration or that relationship to the next level. Do you coach people on how to do that?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay.
And again, it's a process, but I can give everybody one tip today that they can try.
I would
at
love it.
home.
Yes,
Yeah?
let's try it. Let's hear that.
So stop asking questions of your partner. Don't go in and
Stop.
ask how. Stop asking. Don't go in and ask how their day was. Don't go
Okay.
in and ask what's for dinner, because
Okay.
when you're asking questions, you're triggering people. Even if it's simple as how was your day? You really care how my day was? You don't give a shit. I was home. They just
Wow.
it triggers them and they go off. So instead, pose it as a statement. Gee, I hope you had a good day today. Now they're going to stop for a second. Oh, he hopes I had a good day. Well, it wasn't all good, but it wasn't, it doesn't trigger them now because they have to stop for a second and pause. It's like when you do something different, they're going to do something different. And questions trigger people. It doesn't really matter, what the situation is. It could be anything. It could be the girl at the grocery store. How's your day going today? She's saying to herself, he doesn't give a shit how my day went. Instead of, gee, I hope you're having a good day, right?
Yeah,
Very
I mean,
different.
I think that's a nice shift in a very similar sort of conversation opening, and then from there they can respond or not. They don't need to,
Exactly.
so they can either elaborate if they want to, or if they're not feeling like they want to give any energy towards that question, they can just move on to something else. So I do like that that shift. It's a great tip. So thank you for that. I want to make sure that my listeners can find you. Where can my listeners find you?
So they can go to my website, juneedward.com, no S. And there are links to all of my books on my website. There are links to videos from my students. There is a free webinar that you can sign up for to take to learn a little bit more about energy and see if you're interested or a good fit for the relationship mastery program. You can schedule an appointment with me if you'd like. I do numerology, astrology, Akashic records, mediumship readings. I help with business. I help with all kinds of things. So if you're having an issue with anything in your life that you just feel you want some more insight to, I can help you with that. I'm also on all the social media, so there's links to all of that on my sites as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. As a licensed physical therapist, I treat conditions such as erectile dysfunction, decreased vaginal sensitivity and dryness, and other sexual health related topics and conditions. So if that's you and you're feeling like you need some help in that arena, please reach out to me on pleaseme.online, and I would be happy to have a conversation with you and to move forward. If you are curious about exploring a modern open relationship, go to SDC.com and use the promo code 37340 for a free trial membership on me. And I really appreciate you being on here today, June. Thank you so much for being with me on Please Me. And you have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you so much. Until
Bye.
next time.